Everyone seems to have an opinion on the gun issue, but how many people actually know what the policy at Oakland University is as it pertains to CPLs on campus? Our findings were not very encouraging.
No.
Okay, so
No.
I'm not. Okay, no. I'm not. You know what that is? No.
No, I'm not.
Actually, no, I'm not. I don't really know too much about it.
Me neither. I had no idea they had
Okay.
Concealed pistols license? I am not.
Are you aware of Oakland University's closed pistol license policy?
Yes. Yes.
I mean, I think in general places would be safer if they're allowed to close carry, but it's a school, so there's not really, I don't think it's going to enhance the security anymore.
I mean, Oakland's a pretty safe campus, so I don't see a point. I mean, yeah, if they have a CPL, they should be able to carry wherever they want.
Yeah, right.
Maybe. They could prevent whatever, any severe emergency you could have, I guess, having a gun.
I believe any college in general would be safer with concealed pistol license holders who are allowed to carry on campus.
I do, because if everyone has a gun and someone decides to try to shoot people, the chances that you're going to stop that gunman is probably at an increased chance, because then you're on even playing field. So that way there's only one death instead of somebody going and shooting a bunch of people who can't stop them.
Now that we've gotten the student's perspective, we thought we'd go straight to the source of law enforcement on campus. We spoke to a couple of officers in the Oakland University Police Department to get their take on the gun issue as a whole. Here's what they had to say on the issue.
Personally, there may be in general society and community as a whole where you're not dealing with a population of 18 to 22-year-olds as your primary customer that you're dealing with. I think down in Texas, if I vaguely remember reading a study that was done about armed versus unarmed and what it's done to crime statistics, and there may be some documentation out there to support that. And I think he cited some of that when he said that. So is it possible that law-abiding citizens carrying legal weapons that are registered and they're carrying them with legal guidelines reduces crime? There might be some statistics out there to support that.
Also, you got to consider that some people who are bad out there are going to have guns, and they don't care about being law-abiding or whatever. They're just going to have them. So, that being said, who knows what does in Texas, and see if that works out. I don't know.
Because I'll tell you, people have made an argument the other way too, as far as they said that, I know that there's been publications that said the city of Chicago, for instance, I don't know if you're familiar with that or not, for a long time said that you could not own a registered weapon in your home in the city of Chicago, I think it was. The biggest crime capital of last year, gun violence, was city of Chicago. So what's that say? I'm not saying it says anything, I'm just saying there's arguments on both sides of that.
Well, sir, the only thing we're advocating is that people that already have a concealed handgun license, that already carry in their everyday life when they go to the bank, the grocery store, shopping mall, theaters, to go ahead and allow them to carry on campus. We don't feel that the campus is some magical environment when, as soon as they step foot on there, that they lose all sense of logic and reason.
There's only one state in the campus, Utah, that allows college students who have carry permits to carry concealed weapons on campus, right?
Yes, sir.
And you'd obviously like to see that in Texas.
We would. Utah has not had any incidents for over the year that they've had them. They have had no incidents. We've had a chief of police email us and let us know that they've had no incidents. In Texas, in my research, in the 12 years that we've had concealed carry, not a single concealed handgun license holder has been convicted of capital murder.
All right.
The San Antonio Express News has reported that concealed handgun license holders are 14 times less likely to commit a crime than the general population.
Mike, you're a former Marine, or once a Marine, always a Marine. Do you think that that necessarily students who haven't had the kind of firearms training you have had would still be able to carry safely on campus?
Well, a major misconception is that the military and the police have just a great deal of marksmanship training. In fact, when I was in the Marine Corps, we only fired once a year. Police, same thing. They only qualify once a year. Whereas people that do this as a hobby, they fire every weekend, every month, every year, quite a bit. And CHL holders are not some type of vigilantes that will go looking for a fight. That's not the case at all. In fact, with all due respect, the FBI are not the first responders on the scene. It's the local police. I've contacted the president of the Texas Fraternal Order of Police, Dennis Ward. He said that he would support legislation. The San Marcos Police Chief, Howard Williams, the San Marcos being where Texas State is located, he supports it. And just this morning, I received an email from a police officer in Galveston whose daughter goes to Texas State, and he's thanking me for everything that we're doing, because he knows more than anyone that young adult women are victims of rape and sexual assault.
And you'll see where